In this video, I'm showing you the different types of listing agreements you should know before taking the real estate exam. Now listen, my name is Robert Rico, R-I-C-O, head instructor, lifelong educator, and licensed realtor for over 35 years. I've helped tens of thousands of students pass their real estate exam. Do me a quick favor, smash that like button so more students studying tonight can find this video. One last note I'd like to mention. When you hear me say the broker, I'm also referring to the agent. Please remember that. Remember, the agent works for the broker. Therefore, they are in the same boat. All right? Here we go. Let's first break down what a listing agreement even is. I want you to understand what that is. Now, a listing agreement is a contract. All right? It's a contract between a seller and a broker agent that gives the broker the right to market and sell the property. That's all it is. You got a contract between the seller and the broker agent. Now that's the whole idea, right? To get hired by a homeowner to sell their house, and payment is rendered to the broker agent. That's all it is. Now let me set the scenario for you so you can get a clear picture on the process and the listing types. Now let's assume it's the day of your listing. All right, the day of your listing appointment. You're gonna be ready. You're gonna feel good, you're gonna look good, you're gonna be prepared with the right documents. That's crucial. You're gonna be there with supporting data, with the required contracts. You are going to be ready to get hired. You show up to the home, you knock, you're still confident, you're invited in, you chit-chat a little bit, and you're offered a cup of water. You accept it. You sit down, reveal your listing package filled with awesome data that you prepared, and the race begins. The horses are on the track. You begin your presentation. Boom. You do a great job, and the chemistry between you and the seller is fantastic. Now, it's the moment of truth. Will you be the chosen agent? Are they going to hire you? The seller looks at the data that you provided, ponders for a second, and says, I really dig your presentation. You seem knowledgeable with the market. Your confidence is out of this world. We would love to have you as our real estate agent. Hallelujah, they just hired you. Now that scenario that I just painted for you is typical. Very common for a listing appointment. That's the way it works. Heck, it's doggone exciting, isn't it? Well, now what? Well, it's time to cross the finish line. To make this client-agent relationship what? Yeah, official. The signing of the listing agreement. But hold on a minute, pump the brakes. Which listing agreement is going to be used? Well, let's discuss the 4 types you definitely want to be familiar with for your career and for your exam. Let's start with the most common listing used by agents. All right? Nice and simple. The exclusive authorization and right to sell. Pay attention to the part that says right to sell. This one is my all-time favorite. Why? Well, I'll tell you why. There is total commitment from the seller. They're all in with you. They're allowing you to find a buyer by way of other agents, by way of nearby neighbors, by way of open houses, by way of the seller's friends and family. Just find a buyer. I want you to listen to this very closely though. This is the listing agreement where the broker agent gets paid no matter where the buyer comes from. What the heck am I talking about? Well, I'll tell you in a minute. But the key is this. No matter who brings the buyer, even if it's not you, you're going to get paid. Let me give you a crystal clear example. I like this example. Mrs. Seller hires you to sell her home. She agrees to and signs the exclusive authorization and right to sell listing agreement, the one that's common. She goes to work, and during her lunch break at the company cafeteria, she sits down with the coworker, Mary. We'll give her the name Mary. Now, during their conversation over lunch, Mrs. Seller informs Mary that she has put her house up for sale. Mary has visited Mrs. Seller before and just loves her house. She says, hell, I'll buy it. That's what Mary says. Mrs. Seller reaches out to her agent, informs them that they found a buyer for the property. The seller found the buyer. The broker agent still gets paid. Got that? Now, another agent represents a buyer who makes an offer on your listing and the offer is accepted. Broker still gets paid. The seller's cousin walks in off the street with the checkbook. You already know, right? What's the answer? That's right. The broker agent still gets paid. This is the most common listing agreement out there. Full commitment from the seller. And it's the one that gives the broker, well, the most protection for payment. You can't beat it. So when the exam describes a listing agreement where the broker earns a commission regardless of who procures the buyer, boom, there it is. Exclusive authorization and right to sell. Remember, right to sell. There you go. Quick break. If you're serious about passing your exam on the first try, why wouldn't you be? Our exam prep package drills questions that will test you on all these concepts until they're automatic for you. If you want access, the links are in the description. Now, let's get back to it. Exclusive agency. Now, this listing agreement gives one broker the exclusive right to sell their home. You got it? Just like the one we just discussed. The exclusive authorization and right to sell, just like that one. But in this case, the seller can, C-A-N, can compete with you, meaning that the seller can still sell the property themselves and owe you absolutely nothing. That means the door is cracked open, not a full and complete commitment from the seller. Now you better rewind that, because this is where the students get tricked. All right, let's make this clear for you. I want you to shift this down to first gear, nice and slow. One broker, just one. If any other agent brings the buyer, that one listing broker still gets paid. Fair enough. So far, so good. Remember that. Here's the twist. If the seller finds the buyer on their own, the broker gets nothing. Ouch. I'll say it again. When the seller signs an exclusive agency listing agreement and the seller actually finds the buyer, the agent does not earn a commission. Here's the bottom line. Exclusive agency comes down to this: the seller, the person who hired the agent. Now, the seller can actually compete with their own agent in finding a buyer. Remember the example I gave you with Mrs. Seller and her coworker Mary having lunch? Remember that? They were having salad, having a good time, and the agent didn't find the buyer, the seller did. Remember that? That means what? Yeah, no pay for the broker agent on exclusive agency. Now, here's a quick warning. The exam loves to place these two side by side to see if you'll get confused, get flustered, get nervous. They both begin with exclusive. However, only one states the right to sell, which means the right to get paid no matter what. That's the difference. Let's go straight into an open listing. Now, an open listing lets the seller hire as many broker agents as they want, but only one is going to get paid, and that's the one who actually finds the buyer. Think of it like a race. The seller can list with 5 agents, 10 agents, whatever the heck they want. Imagine having all these agents working for you. The deal is this. Pay special attention to this. Whichever agent of all of those that brings the buyer is the one that's going to earn a commission and get paid. None of the others will. Now, what does everybody else get? Like I said, they probably get a thank you. As far as finances is concerned, they get zilcho, nada, nothing, not even a participation trophy. Listen to this. The seller can sell it themselves and pay no one, just like the exclusive agency. There really isn't any commitment from the seller, and that's that part that bothers me personally. And since there is no commitment from the seller, why the heck would anybody want to deal with someone like that? This next part is important, so listen up carefully. All right, here we go. An open listing is a unilateral contract. I just threw one at you that you probably don't know. Unilateral contract. That means only one party is actually obligated to perform. The seller is the only one making a promise to pay a commission, but only for one agent, and that's the agent that finds the buyer. They can hire 10 agents, but only the one that finds a buyer gets paid. The other 9 get a big fat nothing. We already discussed that. Let me give you an example. Examples are great to understand this. A reward is being offered by the owner of a lost dog. He places signs all over the city stating, lost dog, $100 reward. Now, the public doesn't have to go out and search for the pup. But if one person happens to find it, only that one person earns the reward. The others that were searching but had no luck, they get nothing for their efforts. See how that works? That's a unilateral contract, one promise by the seller. In this case, by the person offering the reward. Listen, it's my concept of a $5 bill is a $5 bill. Study long, study wrong, which means don't overthink it. Open listing, open field, open to the public. May the best agent win. Survival of the fittest. There can only be one. The horses are on the track again. The one that crosses that finish line first wins. Boom. Done. Real quick, if your test is coming up fast and you need this stuff to stick now, our crash course is built exactly for that. It's the accelerated version made for people cramming with a deadline. Couple that with our exam prep and you'll be studying on 5 times speed, man. No exam in the world is gonna stop you. Remember, the link's in the description. Now, for the last one, the grand finale. Here we go. A net listing. A net listing. Now that's when the seller names the exact amount they want to walk away with. And the broker keeps everything above that number as their commission. Whoa, interesting concept. If you like to gamble, if you're Mr. or Mrs. Vegas. Hold on a minute, let's make sure we understand this though. So the seller says, I need $300,000 in my pocket when you sell this property. The broker sells it for $340,000. Not bad. Well, that extra 40 G's, that extra 40,000, that's the broker's cut. Not bad. Sounds simple? I kind of like it, right? Hold on a minute. Here's why it can be risky and a problem. First, let's talk about the risk involved. Let's assume the seller wants to net $300,000. That's what they want to walk away with. And the agent can only sell it for $300,000. What did they earn? They earn nothing. Ouch. Second, the potential problem. It can create a conflict of interest. How? Listen to this. The broker agent, don't forget the one that was hired, may be tempted to push the price up for their own payday. They might advertise it for a lot more than what the seller wants to net, or lowball the seller's number to make the spread bigger. What am I talking about? The agent can convince the seller that the home is only worth $300,000 when it's really worth $400,000. You get it? No bueno. Because of that, net listings are illegal or heavily restricted in many states. So when the exam asks which listing agreement raises an ethics or conflict of interest red flag, red card, red whatever, that's your net listing. You got it? Good. All right, curveball time. Here it comes. I'm throwing it at you. Curveball. I'm giving you a pop quiz to see how well it sticks. Don't let me down, huh? Don't let me down. Let's see if you can name the correct listing agreement. Here we go. You ready? First question. This type of listing includes 2 parties and allows the seller to sell their property to compete with their own agent. What is it? I'll give you a minute. Tick-tock, tick-tock. You know what? Speaking of TikTok, you can follow us on TikTok for a whole bunch of good information. The answer is exclusive agency. Next question. Which type of listing is a unilateral contract between seller and brokers? I'll give you a minute. Think long, think wrong. $5 bill is a $5 bill. Ready? It's an open listing. Last question. Which agreement allows the broker to keep everything above what the home owner wants to make on the home? Is it going to be an exclusive right to sell or a net listing? You got a 50-50 shot on this one, man. The answer is a net listing. An exclusive authorization and right to sell listing is when the broker gets paid no matter what, no matter who sells the property. It's typically the most common type of listing agreement out there. I already told you that. A net listing, on the other hand, the broker walks away with everything above what the home seller wanted to make. I mentioned unilateral contracts. If you want to learn more about contracts on the real estate exam, I want you to watch this video right there. Watch it right there next. I explain everything in an easy to understand way, just like I did in this video. Hey, one last thing. I believe in you. I want you to believe in yourself. Good luck to you.